Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first interview here on MMD Gaming. Today, we get a young wrestler at only 16 years old who recently, despite the global pandemic, got to debut in his first match. Welcome, Connor Maxon. How are you doing?
I am doing good. How are you?
Doing absolutely fine. So, just gonna get straight to the point. 2020 had a pretty rough start for you, starting with your original debut. Um, Originally, you were supposed to debut in Coventry Pro Wrestling somewhere around May. That got called
Ye-
off,
ye-
and even at the end of June, you still didn't get to debut. What exactly happened, and what are your thoughts on that?
So, I got the news. Like, my friend in Coventry was having like a rough time, so I got invited down. So, like in my head, I'm just going down to help my friend out. But I get there and I get told because they know I'm a wrestler, they're like starting up shows again, but behind closed doors, and they've gonna like work on my selling and stuff like that for like an actual show. So obviously I'm getting that all pumped up because I'm thinking about to do a show and stuff like I'm like sorting out my moves. I've been told the curb stomp would obviously not have been allowed, so I was like getting my moves ready and stuff just for it to keep like not happening. And then yeah, I was like devastated.
So you were stuck in Coventry for a little over a month, maybe 2 months,
I
and
think
when you
yeah, I think
returned
it was about a
home,
month.
there was more bad news waiting for you, as it wasn't long after you returned that Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy closed as a result of the Speak Out movement, of course. It was the school you trained at, and another wrestler I know as well, when you know, obviously.
Yeah.
What were your first thoughts on hearing that news?
So like I think it's been about 3 days now of me being home. And like originally Manchester was like the place I wanted to like originally debut because it was the place I trained at. So that was constantly on my mind. But then that one day I like just wake up in the morning, I go on Facebook, start scrolling down, and then I see someone from the academy. They posted something about their like former coach doing something like very wrong. So I just thought, no, it can't be. So I go to the group, like the Facebook group. I see like the pictures change and stuff. I'm like getting all confused. I search up my coach's name, and his name doesn't appear. So from that, I was just like so confused. I didn't know like what was going on, what to do, because like I just found out my coach isn't like he's just gone. Like so, I don't know about the speak out movement yet. I just know my coach is just like gone. So I'm just like thinking, oh no, what am I gonna do about training? What am I gonna like do to the vessel? Like I've only just started gaining my confidence in the training school I was in to like be myself, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just like came crashing down with the coronavirus, and then obviously with the speaking out movement as well. And then I was just like lost basically from then. And then I put a post on Facebook about like everything I was feeling, which was pretty hard for me because I don't really like talking about my emotions, but I didn't know what to do because I was thinking I need someone to train. So I posted it, and then some people told me they were going to Future Shock, so that was good.
When did you actually find out that the academy completely closed?
When I started looking at the posts in the actual group, because like there was people posting about it, like saying like it's like gone. Like if you search on Google now, it says like closed, stuff like that. Apparently, like I don't know if I've read this or like it's just like in the back of my mind there, like the actual like place it was like came for sale or something. I'm not sure, but something like that. But I knew it was like closed from like that point when I started like reading through things in like the group.
Of course, some less fortunate news with that, but in the meantime, between the school closing and this interview, you actually got to debut at CPW. Um,
Yes.
The show hasn't aired yet, so without spoiling anything of the show, is there anything you can say about it? What was the show like? How was it debuting in this particular show?
So, so I, I'm back in Coventry like for the first week, and I know shows are running now. But when I was previously there, they weren't. But now they like started running as I went home. So now I know they're running again, and I'm just thinking, I've blown my chance. I've gone home before I actually got to debut. So I was a cameraman for the I believe their second show during the thing they did, and I was recording like mainly the full show because I had nothing to do. I was just watching from a window the matches, like just like getting everything down, like what I could do better. And I get told to go down and be the cameraman. So I go down and be the cameraman, helping out with stuff. But because of which I haven't really mentioned, my injury I have, which I got back in like January in Manchester, I believe I have a bulged disc, which causes my right leg to cramp in pain because of my nerve. And because of me being the cameraman, I was just stood basically still for like, it was like 3 hours. And me standing still does not go well with my leg. And then, so I was just like in like a lot of pain. It hurt to sit down after that. And then I knew like it's going to be hard to like do the stuff I want to do. But then I get told like the next week after they do another show, but this time I'm like the cameraman from like the start, so there's like no like waiting around a bit like other people doing it. I'm like the designated cameraman for that show. And but they did a seminar before that with a wrestler called Dan Evans, and we like at the start of the seminar, like we went round and we said who we were, how many matches we've done, how long we've been wrestling. So I say I'm Connor. I've been wrestling about a year now. I think it was like actually bang on a year, like just like maybe a couple of days after. But yeah, so I've been wrestling a year. I haven't really done a match yet, but I know how to do one. But I haven't done one on a show. So he says, so yeah, I told Dan Evans that. We get to the seminar, we're all doing our wrestling stuff in pairs because of social distancing. And and he says to everyone, go get a drink of water halfway through the seminar because of it's tiring. But me being an idiot, I did not bring any water. So I was just awkwardly stood there with Dan Evans speaking to him. But he said to me, I've got some good stuff. He's going to talk to the promoter and potentially get me on next week's show, which he did. I got asked about it. I got told I'd be put on a show. So now I'm like excited and everything because I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be put on a show. This is amazing. So I continue being the cameraman for that day. Leg is like in a lot of pain once again, like standing still. Then it comes to the week after, where I do debut. But originally, I don't think I was actually put on the card. But my friend's dad reminded the actual promoter that I was going to be put on a show. So then I was put in a tag team gauntlet match for my first match. So I have like 2 matches to like remember, which was pretty scary for my first ever match. But I managed to pull it off. But yeah, but then when it came to like everything, I did the seminar before it, did the planned it all out, and then it came to me be behind the curtain, and they were, like the people I was in like my tag team partner, he was just saying to me like, it's okay, relax, and like you could clearly tell I was nervous. I was like feeling like loads of nerves just running through my body. But then as soon as I heard my music hit, which is the Doom Eternal theme tune, pretty cool.
Awesome.
As soon as I heard that, I thought, oh, here we go. Because I got my own separate entrance because it was my debut. So I heard my music, I was like, oh, here we go. I was jumping on the spot, I was getting all ready. Then it kicked in. I went for the curtain, looked straight at the camera with much confidence I had on my face, even though I was nervous on the inside. I shouted, "Come on," at the camera because I didn't know what else to shout. And I got in the ring, and then the match started from there. But I do have a pretty funny story. Look, it was the show. It was a it's not released yet, but it was it's like a protest show because of like all the Black Lives Matter and like speaking out and stuff. It was like conjoined into one, so we had to take a knee for it. But earlier on, when I told you have to take a knee, in wrestling terms, I thought they meant I have to take a knee. Like I have to get hit
Like
with
a knee
a
strike.
knee. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So everyone gets on one knee, and I'm just stood there like, what is going on? And they're like, oh, take a knee, and then they get on one knee, and then from there the match started.
Some understandable confusion. I definitely understand. One question I do have, because you were talking about your spinal leg injury, was there ever a moment where you thought maybe I shouldn't debut at this point?
I was thinking that like quite a bit. I won't lie, but I just knew if I'm gonna debut ever, this is my chance. I might not get it again for like another year. So I'm like, I got to do this, and then I went and did it.
All right. So everything around your debut has been pretty hectic, but in the end, you still managed to debut. Like you mentioned, it's crazy times in various political ways, as well as the pandemic. So to have your debut in this time is going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Of course, you're only 16 years old, so I hope you do have a big career in front of you, obviously. So, just to go into some fantasy theory, if there would be any current wrestler anywhere on the world, who would you love to face in the ring?
Like anyone at all, like for all the
Anyone
rest
at
of
all.
them. Ooh, that's a tricky one. I actually don't know. 'Cause 10 times out of 10, I'd probably lose, but if it was anyone, I'd have to probably pick my favourite wrestler, John Moxley.
What's going to be next for Conor Maxon?
Well, my plans are to get my back fixed so I can actually continue wrestling. And a little fact, today was another show, but I've thought I've done 2 matches now. I've debuted, so my name is like on the show at least. So now I can potentially rest, get my back fixed, and then actually continue doing the thing I love doing for hopefully the rest of my life.
Now, of course, this is not really a question directed at you per se, but when and where can we actually see the show you debuted in?
I am not sure when it's going to be released, but it will be released on a little thing called CPW On Demand, I believe.
So now that you finally debuted under the name Conor Maxon, may I ask, where does the name originate from?
Okay, so originally I was going to call myself Max Knox. I've no idea why. I've no idea where it came from. I just thought Max Knox. But then I realised, I think there was already someone in WWE at some point called Max Knox or something with Knox at the end. But I know there is a wrestler at the minute called Tegan Knox. But from there, I kept thinking of names because I couldn't think of hearing like a crowd if I was a face chant Max Knox. And if you say like over and over again, it sounds like Max is knocking on a door, like Max Knox. But then I went into like a random name generator. But I just, for some reason, I was obsessed with the name Max because it had an X in it. So then I went to Max White. I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. Max White sounds pretty dangerous. And then I realised when you look at a toothpaste carton, it says Max White. So that name went out the window. And then I was watching a podcast with John Moxley in it, how he basically got his name, and it was basically someone's name said wrong. So I just thought of the actual name myself and just changed the ending, which became Maxon. And then I realised in Fallout 4, there's a character called Elder Maxon. So I just thought Connor Maxon, and that kind of worked. Because like you can hear it being chanted, you can hear it like, you can just like, it sounds like an actual name. And it doesn't sound like Colgate toothpaste or someone knocking on the door.